Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the best budget cards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM here on this tier list. But before we hop out of the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 17,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, and I would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. We got about 25 of the best budget cards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. I didn't include some of the free cards that are also technically viable in the player market, like Tari Eason and Jared Allen, Jalen Suggs. Those guys are on the free card tier list that I released yesterday, though, if you want me to hear me talk about those guys. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. We're going to start off with Rodman. Rodman is obviously S tier. I gotta say, incredible card, obviously. Super duper versatile. A very, very elite defensively. Really good slasher, and also like the ability to drop step. His strength and his ability on the inside can be really valuable against mismatches, because people will put their smallest guy or their worst defensive player on Rodman in a lot of situations because he's not really a huge playmaker, but he's got 90 strength. He's really big and physical. I do believe he could probably drop step at a very high level on the interior if you gave him that drop stepper badge. I feel like that could be a big mismatch thing with this Rodman card. That's also really, really nice. I think he's one of the very best budget cards in the game. The ability to evo him and have him as good as he is for 42k MT is just incredible. Herb Jones goes A tier. Awesome 3-and-D shooting guard. Really, really good card. Really nice release. Very good defensively. One of the better budget cards in the game for sure. I think there's probably a few better than him, but he is certainly towards the top of the list. JJ Redick is at the very bottom of the list. I remember I don't have that many cards on this list where these are only the best of the best. And JJ Redick, even though he's new, is super small at shooting guard and has no good defensive badges. That's not going to get the job done. Plain and simple. That's all I got to say about JJ Redick. Jordan Poole. I think he's also S tier simply because the fact that he gets boosted up defensively really does make him very viable. At 6'4", 6'6" wingspan, he's got pretty good size, really good defender now, obviously, with the significant stat and badge boosts. Shooting and playmaking badges are good as expected, obviously, and slashing-wise, he's not terrible either. He is at least capable. For 42k MT, again, it's an awesome budget point guard who can defend, shoot, score, and slash a little bit at a very high level. Kenyon Martin, also awesome card. I think at very worst, he's A tier. He's a guy I would make an argument for S tier. There's a few other guys that I really think are pretty close to the S tier as well, though. So we're going to leave him in A for right now because I'm not certain if he's in that top 5, but he's real close. Basically a budget Blake Griffin. Gets a significant shooting boost. He's already a solid defender and just a really, really good card all the way around. So big fan of what Kmart can do. Super athletic, of course, but the ability to shoot the ball at a higher level is nice. And then obviously as a defender, he's impressively good at this point in the year as well. I think Mitchell Robinson is also another amazing free card. I'm getting a lot of these New Year's resolution cards pretty early, but Mitchell Robinson is at least A tier as well. I mean, awesome release, really, really good interior defensive center. His biggest flaw is that he's not super fast, but outside of that, he's an incredible card, and I think he's probably the second best budget center in the game. AR-15, Austin Reeves, with his Evo, or his duo, I should say, with Rui Hachimura, he might be S tier. As is, though, as a base card, which I think how I have to judge him for this, he's probably going to go B, because defensively he's not very good. Offensively he's awesome, really good shooter, pretty good playmaker, really nice segs with a deep hook dribble style, a very, very good fade as well, and a money release. I just think offensively he's awesome. Defensively he's very limited without the duo, so I think at best you can put him B tier. Another guy who's pretty limited defensively but is a fun card to use offensively and also pretty good is Brandon Miller. He's 6'9" at shooting guard, so he's got elite size, great wingspan, hotspots from everywhere outside the 3-point line, really good shooter, pretty good playmaker as well. Defensively he's just not great, but he's super athletic, good speed, a really nice shooter with a good release. Overall, really good card. D-book dribble style on him as well. Gives him some pretty solid shot creation ability. Definitely a really nice card. I think Cade still goes S. I think he has to. I still think he's in the top 10 at point guard for sure. I'm not sure where he falls in that top 10 towards the back half, but really good card with really good movement, a nice release, good size, the PG position. Defensively, he's not great, but he's not a liability horribly either. I think he's a really nice, well-rounded card. Does a lot of things really well on the point guard position. He's a card you're still going to run into pretty consistently because he's a very good card. Even some competitive players still using him because of how solid he is as an overall card. Cam Reddish is literally the definition of 3-and-D. That is what he is going to give you, and you have to know that. He is good, not insane. But defensively, he's going to be a very, very solid shooting guard. I think that's definitely his best strength is his ability to defend. Release is fine, good athlete, good speed, or decent speed, but not going to do much offensively. Defensively, he holds it down, though, and I think that is enough to hold him at least back of B tier. I'm not putting Dennis Johnson very high. I think he can only go C tier despite being really good defensively because he's only got a 73 ball. That's really low, and he can't dunk either. That is a huge, huge problem. I'd still think defensively he's awesome, and that is enough to keep him out of D tier because he does defend really, really well, and he's going to be a good catch and shoot go-to player. He'll be fine off the ball, but he's certainly not an on-the-ball point guard at all. Dyson Daniels is an Emerald, but he's a really, really, really damn good Emerald. In fact, I'm going to put him B tier. He is definitely better than Dennis Johnson, no doubt. 86 speed, 6'7", a really good defensive point guard as well, but has okay-ish playmaking badges, not great, but his release is nice, 79 3-ball, not a great slasher, but at least he can dunk. He's got better size than Dennis. He's easily better than Dennis Johnson. Dennis Johnson, actually, I'm going D tier, honestly. I'm not that big. I understand he can defend, but he doesn't do anything else. Like, I don't know. I think he's probably one of the worst ones. Franz Wagner will go A, not S. The duo would put him S, but as a base card, which is how I have to judge these cards, I feel like. I think A is fair. He's a 6'10 shooting guard, who's actually pretty decent defensively as well. So the size and defense just based off of that is good. But then he's also got D-book dribble style, a really nice release, good shooter, good driver. Really, really good card all the way around. Another really good card is Gerald Wallace, also another easy A tier guy. A lot of great budget cards right now in my team. Gerald Wallace, elite defensive card, really, really good wing all the way around. Slashing, very good, and he also has a nice release, so even though his 3-ball rating isn't the greatest, he can do that pretty well. Can be able to attack the rim at a high level, off the dribble, and defend at a very high level, though. Does both those things super duper well as a big wing. Jeremy Sohan, probably C, maybe even D. Yeah, looking at the guys left on this list, I think he's D. I understand he is a very big point guard option, and I'm glad 2K gave him the ability to play PG, but his release is on slow. He's not a great slasher. He doesn't have much finishing or shooting badges, although his 3-ball rating is okay. I guess he does have a high enough ball handle time burst, but he's slow at point guard, and defensively, he's certainly not great either. I think he's really, really mediocre. Doesn't move well either at the point guard position. Not a card I'm a big fan of. I'm moving Cam Reddish down a little bit, by the way. I got to adjust these tiers a little bit. Nick Young, I think I got to move Brandon Miller down. I got to move AR-15 down. Got to move a couple of guys from this. I don't know who to move down, though. Like, I feel like Nick Young, I really want an A tier, but him and Franz Wagner as base cards, I think I probably take, I don't know. I'm putting Nick Young B. No, I don't know, because the thing about Nick Young is his offensive capabilities are so nice. I can't put him B and have Caden S, though. I'm putting him A, and I guess we're just gonna have a big A tier because I don't want to move any of these guys down, and I think they're all really, really good. Nick Young deserves to be an A tier card for sure. It just may not be the most even tier list in the world, but we might be a little top heavy. That's okay. A lot of good budget cards recently. Nick Young is an amazing shot creator, elite slasher, awesome offensively, and not a complete liability defensively either. Really good budget card. Gonna give Claxton S tier because I think he's easily a top 10 shooting guard, or a top 10 center. I think he's super versatile. I think his release is super nice, and he defends his butt off as well. An elite defensive center. I mean, 95, 96 block, 94 interior, something like that. Pretty crazy. Dikembe is just a top. Dikembe and Rodman are the two best budget cards in the game. They're the two guaranteed S tiers for sure. Dikembe is able to compete with any center in the game at a very high level, 42,000 MT. Can stretch the floor at a high level once he's evoed up. He is an absolute monster. Another absolute monster, OG Anunoby, amazing small forward option, really good defensively, impactful, also has a great release, so really good release and a really good defender. Makes for an awesome small forward option. He's also a nice slasher as well, so may not be the greatest shot creator in the world, but still a very good card. PJ Tucker is B tier, but the only reason he's B tier really is because of the fact that he's just small at 6'5". He's a very good defender, he's got a great release. He's just really small and doesn't have any sort of shot creation, so got to put him a little lower. I think Hachimura goes C tier. Not much defensively this card can do without his duo. Both he and Reeves are a lot better with their duo. They'd be at least A, if not S, but without the duo, both of them are kind of limited. Pat Bev is undersized as a PG, but I don't think he's a terrible card simply because he's a monster defensively, and he's not a horrible shooter either. Like, I actually really like the card as a shooter, honestly, with his Evo, obviously. Really good shooting badges. I understand slashing-wise, he's not amazing, but really, really good defender. Is also a very good shooter, has pretty good athletic ability to PG. I understand he's very small, but he moves okay. I don't know, B or C. Like, I think we'll have to go C because he can't dunk. I'm going to go C. Sharif goes B. He's almost A. He's still an awesome card. I think you could make an argument that he could be A tier, but I'm trying to even out this list a little bit, so I'm going to go B for him. And then I think Tim Thomas. The thing about Tim Thomas is he doesn't give you anything defensively as a wing. He's 6'10", and he's got a really good release, but he doesn't give you any sort of shot creation or really much defense. Although D is wrong. I probably would give him, like, C. Is he better than Rory? Probably not. I guess I've got to move. So if I got to move somebody up, it's probably Austin Reeves. So I think this is how I'm going to finalize this tier list. A little top heavy. I just don't think Tim Thomas does enough shot creation wise or defensively to really be all that great of a budget card. But there's a lot of good budget cards. And when you look at the S and the A tier, all these guys can compete against top cards in the game. A lot of them have dynamic duos and stuff as well. A lot of these cards that make them even better. And you combine a couple of these cards with a couple of free cards and a couple of top tier cards, and you can build an incredibly good squad without spending any money and in a very, very short amount of time too. So Hopefully y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.